promised that I would do a video about the differences between the Wicked book and the musical. They're quite different. They have a different feel. If you've read the book, or even if you've somehow been nice enough to watch my summaries, you'll know the book is dark, but it's so good. So I'm gonna kind of give you those differences. Also, I made this sweatshirt for myself because I'm an overthinker. It's my favorite. Okay, I have to read because I can't remember everything. So, spoilers. If you don't know the second half of the musical, don't watch this video. Spoilers, spoilers. Okay? All right. So, Elphaba dies in the book. Dorothy throws a bucket of water on her, trying to put her out because she accidentally sets herself on fire, and then she dies in Dorothy's arms. In the musical, she does not die. Spoilers, I warned you. She fakes her death and goes through a trapdoor and pretends she's melting. To go along with that, in the book, Elphaba is terrified of water, and in the movie, she is not. Though I feel like when she gets the letter from the wizard with Madame Morrible, and it like comes down in the little hot air balloon, I think the throwback to that for the book is when it starts raining and Madame Morrible puts like the umbrella over her head. So I think that was like an homage to the book. Next, in the book, Elphaba and Nessarose have a little brother called Sheltergod, Shell, and he does not exist in the musical. Sorry for all those noises. It's my work alerts. Next, Elphaba in the book, she finds out the wizard is her father before she dies. The Clock of the Time Dragon is what shows her that. In the musical, Elphaba never finds out that the wizard is her father. I accidentally spoiled that for my daughter because I couldn't remember. And Glinda does find that out after Elphaba melts, because she shows the wizard the little green bottle she was sleeping with under her pillow. In the book, Nessarose has no arms. Obviously, in the musical, she does have arms. This one's small, but Elphaba and Glinda in the book meet on the train to Shiz, and they don't meet in the musical until they're at Shiz. In the book, Elphaba has very sharp teeth, and they say she has to wear a muzzle as she's growing up to keep her from biting people, and that's not a thing in the musical. In the book, Elphaba goes back to Shiz to kill Madame Morrible, but she's already dead. And if you remember, she still beats her head in with a trophy anyway, out of anger. In the musical, she does not go back to kill Madame Morrible, and Madame Morrible doesn't die. Glinda imprisons her after the melting. Dr. Dillman teaches biology in the book, but he teaches history in the musical. In the book, Frex, Elphaba's dad, is a minister, but in the musical, he's the governor of Munchkin Land. In the book, Dr. Dillman is killed by Grommatic, which is like the little metal guy that works for Madame Morrible. He's not killed in the musical, and there's no character called Grommatic. Elphaba was born inside the Clock of the Time Dragon in the book, but she was born at the governor's mansion in Munchkin Land. That's, I thought, was a huge difference, is that in the book, like, they're kind of poor and not beloved, but in the musical, he's the governor of Munchkin Land, and they have this mansion, so it was really different, just the beginning part, for sure. There was a character in the book, Averic, that is with them at Shiz, and then she goes and sees him again later. In the musical, there is a character with that name, but it's just Fiero's driver. Okay. This is a big one, but I think it's cool how they did it in the musical. So in the musical, Fiero is transformed into the Scarecrow by Elphaba to try to save him when he's getting beat by the wizard's guards. So that's how she tries to save him. But in the book, they are not the same person. But she does talk about, like, near the end when Dorothy and her friends are coming up to kill her, she talks about maybe Fiyero is inside the scarecrow hiding and I'm going to see him again, but then the birds pick him apart and it's just a scarecrow. In the book, Glinda and Elphaba never make up, and in the musical, they make up right before she melts. Let's see. And Glinda also is given the Grimoire by Elphaba at the end before the melting, but she never has it in the music or in the book. Sorry, I'm confusing myself at this point. I'm just skipping over the little stuff. In the book, you know, there's a big part where she's at Kiamoko, which was Fiyero's old house with his widow, Sarima, and their kids and all her sisters. But none of that is in the musical. Fiyero is engaged to Glinda, but they break up. There is no other family. Okay, now the Tin Man. In the musical, Boq is transformed into the Tin Man to try to save his life. And this is after Nessarose accidentally, it says shirks his heart when trying to use a spell from the Grimoire to make him love her. So to try to save him, Elphaba turns Boq into the Tin Man. But the only reference to the Tin Man other than with Dorothy is when Nessarose enchants an axe that belongs to a woodsman. I think it's called a woodman named Nick Chopper. That eventually turns him into the Tin Man. Friends aren't really involved as much in the musical. Let's see. In the book, the wizard never found out that Elphaba was his daughter. But, well, obviously, I said the wizard finds out when Glinda shows him the bottle after she melts. In the book, there's a prophecy saying Elphaba will return from the dead, but that's not a thing in the musical. I'm skipping the little stuff. Oh, in the book, Elphaba's mother died giving birth to their brother, Shell, but in the book, it was giving birth to Nessarose. In the book, Elphaba has a son with Fiyero, but not in the musical. And in the book, Glinda is the one who enchanted Nessarose's shoes so she can walk. But in the musical, Elphaba is the one that does it. Also, Turtleheart, the character from the book, doesn't exist. In the book, Dorothy is a very seen character, and we don't know yet really what they're going to do in the movie. But in the musical, you don't really see Dorothy. It's like a shadow and her voice, so she's not as big of a character. In the book, the wizard is like a dictator ruling Oz, but in the musical, he's really controlled by Madame Morrible. Oh, Chistery. I thought that was cool. So Chistery was the little baby monkey that Elphaba saves, and like sews wings on him, teaches him to talk, but in the musical, or at least in the movie, he was the one guard that she spells to get wings first. So I thought that was a cool way to bring Chistery in. You know, Amma Clutch was a big character in the book that took care of Glinda, and that doesn't exist. Yeah, that's kind of it. That was long. Sorry, I might break it into 2 parts. Thanks for watching. Bye.